Good afternoon or evening, depending on where you're joining us. We are back on Battlesnake Official on Twitch.tv, and we're pretty excited to be revealing our tournament brackets for the tournament tomorrow. Super stoked. My name is Noah. I'm co-founder and COO over here at Battlesnake, and I'm joined by a couple of lovely folks who I'll let them introduce themselves. How about we start with you, Brad?
Hey, I'm Brad. I also get to work with Noah on Battlesnake a lot, and this is one of the most anticipated shows. Super excited about what we're going to talk about over the next little bit.
And I'm Aurora. I am a friend of Battlesnake, but I work for Bambora and also volunteer with Canada Learning Code.
All right, and we are so lucky to have friends like Aurora at Battlesnake. We couldn't do what we do without friends like Aurora at Battlesnake. Let's be honest.
Well, I enjoyed running my training session on strategy. So now to see all this come together with the brackets and announcing all this is good. It's good. It's good stuff.
Plus, you get insider knowledge on what your chances are, right? Because I think you're in the tournament. You're in the veteran tournament.
Yeah, my poor Hermit Colony snake there. It's got no business in there. It is grossly outclassed, I would say.
Have you looked at the brackets yet? I don't know if we've shown you. But we were looking at where Hermit it's going to have a tough road ahead of it.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
But I mean, it's there. It's competing. It's gonna, there's always that element of luck in Battlesnake. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, if my little, basic strategy snake can do it, anyone's snake can do it. Yeah.
There's a little known fact. So the Battlesnake team has an official snake in the sponsor division, and I think I wrote it like 2 months ago in like an hour coding session. So I'm also equally nervous, and I'm also probably going to fail as bad. So don't worry, we're going to go down together.
Yeah, I mean, the team at Battlesnake has no time to be programming a Battlesnake.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think we'd do better than we do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough of the preamble. I mean, let's give people what they're actually here for. They don't want to listen to us just talk about our snakes. They want to hear what's happening tomorrow, who made the cut, and what the brackets are going to look like.
Let's talk about actual Battlesnake games and Battlesnake arenas and Battlesnake Radiance. I'm going to go full screen here. There we go. That should pop open on Twitch. All right. We're going to talk really quickly about the different divisions we have. We've talked about this before, but we just want to clarify so that as we're talking about which snakes kind of made it through and which categories, you have an idea of who's competing where. So Stay Home and Code has 4 tournament divisions. Typically, we only have 2 or 3 in most events we run, but we wanted to do something different and something a little more interesting with Stay Home and Code. So we started, this is our first shot at a parent and kid division, which I think is really fun, and I think we're all really excited about. And the turnout for it has been awesome, and we're seeing some really cool teams, and we're seeing some really cool developers get involved there. I'll talk a little bit about what the parent kid division is for in a second, but then there's also the rookie division, which is for newer Battlesnake developers, as well as the veteran division, which is where you're going to see sort of the top-notch competition, and then the sponsor division, which is a place where donating and sponsoring companies can kind of show off their tech stacks and kind of show developers what they can do. So let's dive into one of these divisions, and let's talk about I guess I'll also add that, like, for the last 2 weeks, we've been running arenas. So if you've been following on play.battlesnake.com, you could enter your team into an arena, and the arenas are constantly running games. And then as of about an hour ago, we actually paused the arenas. We took the top teams and we created the tournament brackets. So our goal here tonight, right now, is to kind of reveal those tournament brackets, talk about which groups we're excited about, which snakes we think might emerge from different rounds of the tournament tomorrow. So let's start with the rookie division. And so the rookie division we've had a couple of rookie divisions at Battlesnake events in the past. It's really good if you are new to web development, if you're new to Battlesnake, if you're early on in your career, or all of the above. You'll see a wide variety of technologies used here. You'll see a broad spectrum of developers from different backgrounds, different experience levels, different educations, different ages. This is a really fun division for us, and we always like to see who comes out and participates, and we always get really fun and really interesting games out of this one for sure. I'm gonna dive over. Let's take a look. So we're gonna look into the rookie arena. So the rookie arena has been running for, like I mentioned, about the last 2 weeks, and so we had. Holy crap, it's grown since we last looked. We had 81 teams enter the rookie arena, which is amazing. I think this is actually my team, right?
There you go, Brad. I mean, what's amazing though when you scroll through this is like how many names here I don't recognize at all. Like just so many new faces, new competitors. Yeah. It's really great to see like people totally new to Battlesnake coming in with their new snakes.
Absolutely. And then there's always some ones that we see I know Polka Dot Goggles was in the Winter Classic, and I think they placed pretty well. UVic AI Club is a team that has been involved in a couple different ones, but although the members of the team has kind of swapped out over the years, but we always see them get involved. There's some other Oliver King we've seen around, but let's talk about specifically. I want to talk about Whitish Meteors because I don't think we've seen them in any of the tournaments we've run previously. So. What do we know? What do we know about Whitish Meteor?
I mean, Whitish Meteors. First off, appropriate profile here. We definitely have a glorious meteor. I love taking a look at the profiles of your snakes and your competitors. But we've got a Canadian man, trying to make his way through the global arena. So welcome, Whitish Meteors to the global arena, to the rookie division. It looks like this is a one-man band, a one-man snake band.
It's their first tournament that they've entered, and they took. I mean, let's not let's acknowledge what's happened here. They took top spot in the rookie arena at a 3,800 rating. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. If you look the second place at Pink Penguin, another. I don't think we've seen Penguin before.
No,
but they're 400 points behind Whitish Meteors. Like Whitish Meteors is just dominating the rookie division right now.
Yeah, it's going to be like Winter Classic all over again with incumbent Ravioli coming in. Is White Meteor our new Ravioli here?
Is Whitish Meteors the new favorite? I don't know. Are we gonna have to? We're gonna have to talk to them and be like, next time you got to be in the veteran division. We'll have to graduate them, obviously. Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at. I want to just show a couple games for Whitish Meteor, just so we can get a feel for like what their strategy might be. And we're not going to cast this as well as the casters will. I'm not going to pretend that we are. But it should be fun either way. So Whitish Meteor is in the reddish brown color here in the bottom left, and so this is a fairly high ranked game. You've got Nesagrev, Polka Dot Goggles, Right Stuff. I think these are all top eight teams in the rookie division, if I remember right. Maybe Noah or Aurora could confirm that, but we'll get the game going. And so Whitish Meteors is a very sort of kind sort of strategy, right? Like there's nothing aggressive about this. Trying to maintain as much space as possible and eventually just outlasts all the other snakes. And this is the kind of strategy, and Aurora, this goes back to your sort of basic strats and early tactics. This is the kind of strategy we see that is generally very successful in the rookie division.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're totally right, Brad. These are all top 8 snakes, and just like keeping those basics, keeping it really, really clean. Like that's how you need to start. You need to have that foundation on your rookie snakes. And it's nice to see it so clear in these like top snakes in the rookie division.
Yeah. And just like you see, they're both kind of doing the same thing, right? Of like, let's just keep our own space, try to keep away from danger as much as possible. Neither of them are being too greedy with the food. They're fairly even in length. They're all both hovering around 100 milliseconds response time. So this is great. This is exactly what we tend to see in the rookie division. And so Whitish Meteors has definitely figured out something pretty cool here. Let's take a quick look at the other. I wanted to call it some of these other teams. Let's take a look at Pink Penguin, What do we have for their
Very mysterious, actually. Not a lot of information on Pink Penguin, but I can confirm this is their first tournament. So, I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see what the snake does, Brad. There's no hints here for us.
You want to just watch a quick game?
Let's see what you bring us, Pink Penguin.
Let's see a game. All right, here we go. We've got they went up 100 points after 208 turns, so this should be a pretty good one. All right, Pink Penguin in the peach. I'm gonna call it peach. With the silly tongue here. That's my favorite. I like the silly tongue. We'll get that going. So they're up against Blue Whale, Nesagrev, Uvik AI Club. Again, all top competitors in the rookie division. This is a really great game as well. And they're all same deal. Both games have featured Nesagrev in second place. But yeah, okay. So you can see here, Pink Penguin and Nesagrev, again, kind of sharing the board. Right, and then right here, maybe Nesagrev makes a poor decision, decides to go for the food, and they both actually go for the food, but Pink Penguin closes
the escape route. Yeah,
it has the escape route, and Nesagrev doesn't. So this is exactly the sort of thing. Again, this is what you tend to see in the rookie division. So if you get to this stage where you can stay alive, kind of stay out of other snakes' way, eat enough food to keep going, then you're in really, really good shape for the rookie division, and you're gonna have a good home here. With that, I don't want to dive into too many games. Let's take a look at the brackets. So this is the first time. This is the first time we've ever shown the brackets live. I don't know if this is live on the website or not, but we definitely have access to it. So we're going to look at the rookie division, stay home and code group stages. So we have the math worked out that we think we can get 64 teams into the rookie tournament, 64 of 81. So the top 64 teams from the arena, that's kind of where we place the cutoff. They've now been put into the first group stage of the tournament. And you can see here, you got Group A with Church of Ryan. I'm not going to name all these snakes. You got Group A with the 8 snakes here. The big players there, obviously Pink Penguin, who we just talked about. Group B, I believe Dennis was a big name in the top 10. And then Group C. So you can, if you're in chat and you want us to, I'm just looking at the chat now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Whitish
Group C, we got Cora team is ranked 4 right now.
Yeah. And Dennis was number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
Yeah, so Dennis and then Quarantine is the one to watch in Group C. Coming out of Group D, who do we think?
It was Blue Whale.
Oh,
Blue Whale.
Yeah. Blue Whale is ranked 8 right now.
Blue Whale. Yeah. So Blue Whale I like a lot because they are competing at a very high level. And if you look at their bio, they're a first-year computer science student at University of Victoria, which is fantastic. Nice. So welcome, Blue Whale. I believe this is your first tournament. Yeah. And they're doing very, very well for where they're at. So that's the one to watch in Group D. Group E, there's your polka dotted goggles and your Uvik AI Club, as well as Oliver King, who we've seen before. I think we've seen Smog before in a Winter Classic. Group F, Hungry Sam, Nesagrev, Pickle Rick, Rogue Hack Lab. Rogue Hack Lab has been around for a while. They participated in the Winter Classic. They've also participated in a couple other tournaments. Gamma Factor, Snake Plissken, Battle Pie, Group G. There's your Whitish Meteors. So if you're looking for where Whitish Meteors is, Group G is the group of death, if you will. If you're up in Group G, I'm sorry.
That's tough.
That's just how it worked out. Yeah,
we have
Group G in chat.
Yeah, it is the rookie division. Anything can happen, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
There's always that element of luck.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no luck in Battlesnake. This is pure skill. I don't know what you're talking about. And our mods in chat make a really good point. I'll talk about that in a second. And then Group A, Group H, I believe Right Stuff here is the one to watch. So how the rookie division is actually going to work. You'll see here, we're going to run 2 group stages. So we've got groups A through H, and you can see who you're going to be up against if you look at the tournament page here. We're going to run each group twice. So each group we're going to put 8 snakes on the board. We're going to run 1 game, and the winner of that game, it's going to be a 1v1v1v1 all the way up to 8 snakes. the winner of that game is going to automatically move on into the next group stage. Then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the winner and replay the group with only 7 snakes. And then the winner of that game is going to move on to the next group stage. And we're going to run that for every group until we have 16 winners that move on to the next group stage. And so you'll see here, group 2 just has groups A and B, and there's question marks here. Those will be filled in as the games get run. And so every group, every participant will have 2 games at least on stream that we'll live cast, and you'll have 2 chances up against either 7 or 6 other snakes. And if you win those games, then you'll move on. I realize it's confusing. If there's any questions, just throw it in chat and we'll clarify. So we'll run, that's how we'll run group stage 1. Then for group stage 2, we'll do the same thing. So we'll run 2 games for each group. We'll take out 2 winners, and that'll populate the quarterfinals. That'll bring us down to 4 snakes in the quarterfinals. We'll run 3 games in the quarterfinals, take out the top 3, run 2 games in the semifinals, take out the top 2, and then we're going to run a head-to-head finals. And I believe the head-to-head finals is going to be a best of 5. I think it's going to be the first to 3 win, and I think that's how we did the Winter Classic, and that was the most
totally. But
dramatic.
like, if I remember as well from the Winter Classic, I don't think we ever got to got to like a tiebreaker. It was so clear, so definitive.
Yeah, it always. I think it was 3 games straight for each one.
Everyone, yeah. I remember like writing this down and then going up, and the casters could always tell, if we had just finished a game, because we're like, oh, like we're done, we're standing, we're ready.
Yeah. So you can check the brackets out on your own, but I just wanted to like let's talk. I'll go back to the arena rankings here. Let's do this rookie division. Let's talk favorites. I'm gonna put Noah and Aurora on the spot. You don't have to call winner. I realize it's a bit much to call winner from 64 teams. But who are you looking at for top 3? I'm gonna start with Noah. Noah, who are you looking at for top 3?
Top 3, hey. I mean, I like polka dotted goggles. A, I love the name, and B, they did the Winter Classic. My hope is that they're able to make it up into that top 3. And I mean, Whitish Meteors will probably make it there. But I'm also kind of hoping to see the UVic AI Club make it into that top 3 bracket, just because, Battlesnake's from Victoria. It's kind of like the homegrown team here. And UVic, these are a bunch of students who are just, trying their best, trying to get up there. And it'd be cool to see them make it into that top 3, that semifinal battle.
Nice. So I think, I mean, it's obvious, but Whitish Meteors definitely, I mean, the games have been so strong. If you've been watching it, like I would be very surprised if someone had managed to get some last minute changes in there, but I too am easily swayed by clever names. So I definitely love Foreign Team. That just works for me. I really like it. I like what you've got going on here. And I think we shouldn't underestimate the power of Blue Whale. Apparently, according to chat, they have switched to blue now, which I really think is going to synergize their strategy.
I loved that they were red. I love that Blue Whale was red. That was my favorite thing. I can't pick Blue Whale now.
You can't? It's out for you? No. I feel like this works. I need this. This.
Yeah, they're blue.
They went full blue.
Yeah, they went full blue. But like they've worked on their design. Their snake design choices is totally on theme, and I we can't underestimate how powerful that is.
Well, everyone knows the most important decisions you make when building a Battlesnake is picking your color and your head and tail, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like Quarantine because I like the idea of the casters having to say Quarantine a lot. That kind of that makes my day. So I'm gonna pick Quarantine for top 3. Obviously, I think you got to go Whitish Meteors. I think if you look at what they're doing, if you look at the lead they have in the brackets or in the arena, it's hard to ignore them. I'm curious if Whitish Meteors is in the chat. Is that an ML snake, or are you hand coding that? If you could let us know, we could talk about that. And then my third pick, let's see if I can find it. I don't know. They were down here around somewhere. I think 68 is a really good one, right? Like if I'm gonna pick, like probably like Whitish Meteors, right, and then Quarantine, and then probably just whoever's in 68. I don't know who's there, but whoever happens to be in 68th spot, even though they didn't
Even
realize
though
now
they're
they didn't
not
Yeah.
in the tournament.
Yeah.
But I feel like they still got a chance.
They're the wild card.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
wi- yeah.
it's a snake where you write the code, but then you let it out into the wild to learn organically, right?
Right,
Like you don't need
exactly.
to code after that. Just let
No,
it be.
it'll just figure itself out.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad's team is a dark horse. Exactly. Whitish Meteor says deterministic stake, no ML. Awesome. I love it. I love hand-coded snakes that do really strongly against machine learning algorithms, because I think there are so many strategies that have yet to be discovered in multiplayer Battlesnake. So I love seeing that. So that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is the rookie division. That's the biggest division. So it gives you an idea. You can look at the I believe the tournament brackets are live now. So if you want to go look, you can look on your own. Let's talk about the parent kids.
So excited for this.
Super excited for this.
Yeah. So we have a slide. Noah made a slide, so I'm going to show the slide.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, you bet. So the parent kids division is for Battlesnake developers who are programming Battlesnakes with their kids. That's it. That's the only qualification. And I love this division so much, especially with everyone staying like along the themes of stay home and code. We have parents who are trying to work from home with their kids around a lot more than they used to, and so we want to invite them to if you're a developer and you're at home with your kids, bring your kids into what you're doing and introduce them to programming. Either just watching the games, which can be a lot of fun, or getting involved in what colors, what heads, what tails, or getting involved in the algorithm and maybe even the coding as well. We've had a couple people that have tried to build Battlesnakes with Scratch as well with their kids, which I think is awesome. I'd love to do something more to support those teams in the future, and we'll definitely brainstorm on that. But this is a really fun division, and I'm really glad we did it. And I think this is probably going to be something that is just more or less permanent in Battlesnake events going forward, which is awesome.
Well, thinking of those like deterministic snakes and like noting that there's more strategies to discover, like I've had so many great chances to program with kids through Canada Learning Code and like doing those like youth workshops. And what I always find is that like no matter how many times I've taught a workshop, those kids surprise me with like how they approach something, what they do. I feel like the parent-child category is where we're going to start seeing these like bizarre, strange, really interesting emergent strategies that we've never seen before. You get like the eyes of children on it, right? Like their youthful innocence. This is where the creativity is going to come.
Absolutely.
It's all the why not? Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Why can't I just go for the food? It's fine.
Yeah. So like your team, like if you want to really move your Battlesnake team to kind of like an OP position, you need like a 5-year-old. Like you really do.
Yeah. You gotta bring that 5-year-old into your team.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the arena. So the arena closed just over an hour ago now. At the top of the arena, the parent and child arena was a lot closer, a lot tighter rating wise than the rookie one. The rookie one was all like we had a very wide spectrum in rankings, but the parent child was a much closer competition. And we had PK Snake actually take the top spot. I think PK Snake is a new entrant as well. I think they joined in the last 24 hours.
Looks like the PK stands for Peter and Kathy. So welcome.
Awesome.
You. Whichever one is the adult child, 2 children, 2 kids in a trench coat standing on each other's shoulder. It's all good.
Yeah, that's great. And then Team Pixel came in second, and Team Pixel has been around Battlesnake for a couple years now. I think they participated back in 2017 live in Victoria. And they actually, Noah, correct me if I'm wrong, I think, I'm trying to remember the parent's name of this. Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan's written up his experience of developing this Battlesnake alongside Brandon, who's his son. And we released it as a series of blog posts, I think, like probably a year-ish ago. So you can read about what that journey was like and kind of how they approached it and how they thought about their snake. That's all. If you go to the Battlesnake blog, you'll find it there. But Team Pixel has been, just a rock in Battlesnake tournaments to date, and so they're really strong. Who else do we have in the sort of top 4, top 5 area here?
Yeah, taking a look at Dragon in a Library, watching Snake Pit they were coming up quite a lot, right? Like some really, really interesting games. So it looks like this is another father-son team with an 8-year-old. So, I mean, yeah, if you can't get a 5-year-old on your team, 8-year-old is a good choice. But yeah, moving this as an evolution from scratch, which is an amazing starter world, that whole graphical design, and starting to move into some of the more professional programming languages, which is exciting. So what does this say here about their snake? It has no search into the future at all, but it's all rule based. Like I'm hungry, go towards it, food, and looking for collision avoidance, and some A-star to detect confined areas and to choose sort of open areas. So that sounds good. That sounds like some really, pushing forward good strategy moves.
I love this, and I love it when teams are so open with their strategy, right? Of like, here's what we think about, here's how we think about the problem, and if you have ideas for how they can, what the next step is, but also if you want to get started, if you are coding a Battlesnake for the first time, check out what Dragon and the Library is doing, because they've spelled it out for you here, how they go about playing the game, and they're obviously doing pretty well, right? We can let's look at a quick Dragon and Library game, because I don't know if we're going to find one, but I know there are a couple games that showed off a really unique strategy from Dragon and Library. Let's see if we can get this one going. So they're the yellow snake here. So that one didn't show it, but there's a couple situations where Dragon and Library just sort of like hung out in the middle of the board. Like it has this really interesting algorithm behind it where it kind of hovered. You can't see where I'm pointing, obviously, but it kind of like runs like a square kind of in the middle, and recognizing that the edges are generally more dangerous and the middle is more dangerous. And so it's clearly they've developed it to kind of stay in this mid-range area of the board as much as possible, which I think is awesome. I've never seen that strategy before. And you can see it's kind of doing it here too, where it's preferring sort of this mid-range, and it's trying to stay away from the edges. We'll go back to the arena. All right, what else do we have here?
So, I mean, fun fact about Pokemon Craze is that they started program. They're from the Olympic Peninsula, and so there's been a community group there that started doing some Battlesnake coding with a bunch of students, and that's where this team came out of.
Oh yeah, that's the Salish Snake Squad group. Is it that one there? Yeah. And we heard from Gage, who did the Replit tutorial, and so he's the one that sort of started that whole initiative over in the Olympic Peninsula, and they got about, I think, 8 to 10 sort of parent-kid teams together to start programming because school's out, and so they thought it was a good way to get sort of engage some students and start teaching them programming. And I know they're going to be doing it again in the summertime, which is very exciting. Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, you're also seeing a lot of Python in the parent and kids division division/arena, which I think is a really great place to start, especially programming with your kids, because it's very readable. It's very more close to natural language, I think. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the arena brackets. The tournament brackets. So we were able to get all 9 entrants into the tournament. So everyone that was in the parent and kids, everyone that was registered for the parent and kids division is going to be participating in the tournament tomorrow, which is awesome. We love it when we can do that. And we've split it up into 2 groups. So there's Group A with Aquabots, Dragon and Library, Roger Dodger, Starvin Marvin, and the Johnston kids. Group B with Obscure Basin of Despair, PK Snake, Pokemon Craze, and Team Pixel. So some pretty tight groups there. You've got Team Pixel and PK Snake in the same group, which is going to be tough. It'll be interesting to see who moves on from Group B, and then at a Group A, Dragon and the Library is probably one of the more favorite ones there, as well as I don't know, who else do we like from Group A?
From Group A, I mean, I like Aquabox once again for the naming convention.
Purely for name, yeah.
But how are they doing here?
I mean,
those Johnson kids were definitely number 4 here, and not too far behind. Like, fairly close in points to number 3.
Reagan, Johnston, PK, and Team Pixel. So you've got sort of a fairly even spread here in terms of arena ratings.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what Roger Dodger does, because I think they implemented the SageMaker ML snake, and so they're the one machine learning snake
really?
in the parent kids division.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
So if you look at their tags,
they've got AWS SageMaker.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be able to train enough that it could, have a little upset there.
Moving slowly but with an intent, eating everything in sight. Is this like a little like tortoise and the hare kind of story here? Like a little lower the rankings, but getting poetic.
Up there? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's go top 3. What do we think? Aurora, I'll put you on the spot first.
Ooh, I mean, I'm pretty excited by Team Pixel. I think I'm pretty sure I had the privilege of meeting them during sort of like the Bounty Snake tournament, and I was just so impressed by Brandon, because I think we tried to offer him a prize or something at our booth, and he was like really stoic. He was in it to win it. You could tell that he was there
already
all about
thinking
the
about
snake.
Next year. Yeah.
It wasn't about the dumb stickers we had. It was about like, how is the snake performing? So definitely a favorite for me in that. But I mean, I'm now more than ever intrigued by Roger Dodger at this point. I think there's a lot of mystery here, and I'd like to see more.
Noah?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to echo Aurora there a little bit of like, I really like Team Pixel. I like what Nathan and Brandon are doing. They're fun. They're exciting. Nathan has volunteered at the past 2 Battlesnake in-person events that we've had out in BC, and he's gone around, and not only is he, helping his son learn software development, but he also like goes around and helps like first-year university students debug their snakes as well. So he's definitely giving back, and like it's just like Aurora said, seeing Brandon on the floor just like so excited with the Battlesnake. He is there to win, and he's there to, he's like he said, he's not there just for the stickers. He's there to like see his snake perform really well. Mm-hmm. Excited to see how the ML snake Roger Dodger does in this arena. But I'm also really excited to see what Pokemon Craze does, because I know they've been working really hard over at the Sailor Snake Squad sort of community battle snake over in the Olympic Peninsula. And so I'd love to see what they can do when it comes down to competition.
Awesome. Yeah. And on my end, I also want to see Roger Dodger do well. I want to see how what a parent and child SageMaker snake looks like. I hope that works out for the best. I think that's interesting. I got to pick Dragon in a Library purely off the name, because I like it a lot, and I like that strategy. The reason I highlighted it is because I like what they're doing. And then if we're going to talk about poetic descriptions and bios, we can't gloss over obscure Basin of Despair, right? Like, mm-hmm. Can you get much more poetic than that? So those are going to be my 3 choices for sure.
It's so hard to pick, right? Like these are I'm a sucker for a parent-child team. I want you all to like win or either learn an incredible amount.
Prizes for everyone.
Yeah.
Did you read their bio? I mean, they're doing this because Canadian football has been delayed, and so they figured they might as well learn how to program.
I think Battlesnake is a perfect substitute for Canadian football. It's practically one.
All right, and so the same deal as with the rookie division. So we're going to run each group twice, and the winner of each game is going to move on to the quarterfinals. Then we'll run 3 quarterfinal games to get the top 3 semis, and then we'll run 2 to get the top finals, and the finals will be a best of 5 head-to-head. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's cut back to our slides. Let's talk about the veteran division. Veteran division is for experienced web developers, anyone that's working on their snake for multiple weeks or multiple months, or in some cases multiple years. We definitely have a lot of teams in the veteran division for Stay Home and Code that have been doing it for years. But it's also for anyone who wants a serious challenge. So if you're stoic Brandon at the live event, and you're just constantly thinking about how you can make your snake better, veteran division is going to be top-notch competition. So this is where you're going to find the best of the best. Let's take a look at how that arena turned out. I
mean, has there been a more topsy-turvy arena? Just like swapping
think
who's
so.
number one back and forth.
I think we looked. Noah, when we were looking at this a couple hours ago, and I think Huntail was actually at top at one point, and Neater actually dropped quite a bit as well in the last like 8 hours or so. And so this has been like, I think the top 10 or so in the veteran division has been all over the place over the last 48 hours of people tweaking their algorithms, finding new strategies, finding new techniques. So it's going to be a lot of fun. In first place, you've got Swedish Vikings by like a fairly narrow margin. We're talking about like 50 points here, which is not much. You can go up and down 50 points in a single game. Huntail, Secret Snake, Spots Revenge, On Solo, Neater, who's a crowd favorite. I think the top 6 here are all snakes that we've seen before. I think the first one that we haven't seen before is Asymptotic Labs, unless I'm wrong there.
I'm trying to remember if it was Ann Solo in the... I don't think... No, Ann Solo was not in the Winter Classic, so I think this is a new snake as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's show them. So it says the team name implies is a solo team with a man whose last name is On, living here in Victoria. Got third prize in the intermediate division of the last live event. So they did not participate in Winter Snake or in Winter Classic, but yeah, someone in chat says I feel like On Solo was at previous in-person events.
There we go.
Awesome. I like that their snake is named the Very Lazy Ladybug. It's a very good snake name. And then Asymptotic Labs, no bio, just says AI research group made up of someone named David and someone named Corey. Hybrid of PPO RL snake with endgame tree resolution. So it's kind of, I really like hybrid snakes as well. Hybrid reinforcement learning plus some deterministic endgame decision making. And this is their first one that we're aware of. And so we don't know a lot about this team, but it's definitely going to be one to watch. And then the other one in the top 10, I believe Bird Snakers is also new.
Yeah, that one's not scratching any memory for me.
There we go. Yeah, so Snakebird, my first snake started on March 29th.
Wow.
So this developer has been working on this for 3 weeks, somewhere in there.
Wow. 4 weeks?
4 weeks?
3.5?
Math?
Yeah. It's not a lot. It's not, no.
Their bio is that they're super into birds, which I respect.
Snakebird is pink like an Australian gala.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's find one like sort of top play game here with Hermit Colony, obviously.
Just watch that destruction.
You want to just watch? You know what?
Give her.
Let's just watch it. Let's just see what's going on. So Hermit Colony, if you missed it, Hermit Colony is Aurora's snake.
Yeah.
You can actually watch her build it live in some of the workshops that we've been running over the last couple of weeks. So if you want to see, I think it's also open source, right? Like it's on your GitHub.
Public on my GitHub, Aurora Walker, built on the basic Python starter snake. It applies the 3 principles of don't run into walls, don't run into yourself, and don't run into other snakes. So some mad strategy here, but core fundamental strategy. Yeah.
Let's take a look and see.
But I mean, not first down. Like, this is what I really like, is I'm rarely first down.
And then EchoSec takes it on.
Oh.
Awesome. Yeah. So if we can go back in slow-mo, Hermit Colony, obviously.
Yeah, head-to-head, it's
eaten by EchoSec.
It's that head-to-head. That head-to-head, I was talking about this with someone else the other day, like that leap from like don't run into walls, don't run into other snakes, and then trying to avoid head-to-head that's when you sort of go from like easier problems to like intermediate level problems.
Yeah.
That head-to-head requires a jump in logic and a jump in thinking. That makes it really fun. And
I put all my effort into the stream, and then I just played Animal Crossing the next evening. I did not do code.
I'm playing Animal Crossing right now.
Time well spent.
Yeah. No regrets, but it's not gonna win me any Battlesnake tournaments. That's for sure.
So with that, let's take a look at the veteran tournament. I'll go here. So the veteran, I believe, had an even 32. So I think we've got, so there's 4 groups. So the veteran, we got everyone in the veteran division into the tournament, which is fantastic. Group A, On Solo, Brain On, Lux, Secret Stink, Snaky, Extagon, EchoSec, and this one. Group B, Ham Snake, J-Snack, Neater, Ravioli, Swedish Vikings, Team Positive, Tube Sock, and Walter. Group
It'll be
C.
interesting to see the Swedish Viking Nieder sort of
Combo,
match coming back from the Winter Classic.
And Ravioli, right? Like you've got Nieder, Ravioli, Swedish Vikings, and only 2 snakes are going to emerge from that group. So we're going to lose a heavy hitter in the group stage with that one.
For anyone who's unfamiliar, Ravioli took the beginner championship for the Winter Classic, so stepped up into the veteran division this year. So excited to see how they perform.
Mm-hmm.
Group C, Asymptotic Labs, Hermit Colony, Jake the Snake, Jonathan Bennett, One Snake Army, OP2, Siamese Fighting Snake, and Huntail. Group D, Bird Snakers, Just Ian, Samaritan, Spots Revenge, the Medusa, which we haven't even talked about, but don't worry, the casters will talk about them tomorrow. Totally unique team name, Zero Cool, and Jay Hawthorne. So this should be pretty good. Same format as the other tournaments. We're going to run each group twice. We're going to take 2 winners from each one and move them on to the quarterfinals. We're going to run that 3 times, take 3 winners into the semis, run 2 games into the finals, and then a best of 5 for the finals. What are we thinking? What are we thinking for top 3? We'll throw to Noah first.
Ooh, top 3. I mean, I'm going to have to go with my first choice is going to be Swedish Vikings, and not just because they're ranked number 1, but because I actually got to interview the creator of Swedish Vikings for our developer interview series. So he started it out as a father-son team, and I think he kind of took it on to the next level because he really just enjoys Battlesnake. And so he's been working on this snake for a long time, and so I think he's been really implementing some really unique, strong strategies for this competition. Nieder, I mean, I really enjoy Nieder. I know what they do. They're very exciting. They wrote a whole sort of research paper on Battlesnake, which is amazing. So those are my top 2. And then for a third pick, I hope to see Bird Snakers up in there. I think 3 weeks of code. Let's see what it can do against the rest of these sort of heavy hitters who've been around for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay. Aurora, what are you thinking?
So from the classics, from the snakes, we definitely saw a lot of in the Winter Classic. I have a special spot in my heart for Secret Snake. I don't know why. I just, I like it. But I think I'm going to also shout out to Asymptotic Labs, who is the top-ranked Python snake right now. Python is my favorite programming language. I'm liking to seeing that representation, and I know it's a strong machine learning language. There's a lot of great tooling in there, so definitely liking that. And going back a little bit, I have a special shout out, a special thought for Jay Hawthorne, because I happen to know that Jay Hawthorne wrote the snake at the last Victoria event for the bounty snake and took home like the corporate bounty snake trophy.
Oh,
this is a thing
right.
I know. So I feel like, it's ranked 10th right now, but I feel like given the bracket, that's what I'm going to keep an eye on. That's one I got a special call out for.
All right, that's a good call. I had not considered that, but I think it's the same snake, or at least a riff on the same snake. I like the Medusa. I always like Small Talk. I think they're a fantastic team, and as much as the casters like to curse them and call them out, I like Small Talk a lot. So I hope they move on for sure. Yeah, we've got some yay Medusas going on in the chat. So I like Medusa. I also like Asymptotic Labs. I think that's interesting. I think they're a newcomer. I like hybrid strategies, especially in the veteran category, and so I hope they do well. And then my other pick would be, this is controversial. I like Hexagon. I know that Hexagon's been around for a while and has been working on the snake for quite some time. Definitely popular in the community and involved in the community, and so I hope that they do well. Let's those are going to be my top 3. Let's see what happens. I hope someone's writing this down and keeping score.
Yeah, it was suggested in chat. Does like we're not casters, so the caster curse doesn't apply, right. Which is key. But I feel like do we get like a boost? Are we the opposite?
Yeah, we have video evidence of whether or not this is helpful. This is actually helpful.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's see. Let's go back. We'll go back to the slides. Sponsor. Let's talk about the sponsor division. We'll talk about this one quickly. Sponsor division is for corporate and professional engineering teams that want to show off their technical skills. Some of these teams are also hiring, so if you're interested and you're looking for development work, definitely get in touch with them. But also, these are just engineers at professional engineering teams that love supporting global tech communities. And so this is more of a for fun, for bragging rights, for sort of like plastic trophies, that sort of thing. Division that we have a bunch of teams or companies that have put snakes into. So let's take a look at this one. And also, I should also call out that all of the companies that are represented here have all made donations to Food Banks Canada as part of this event, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that. Again, this is a pretty tight group. If you look at the top, 2,300, 22, and I guess there's a bit of a jump down to Schneider. But this has been fairly competitive all month long, except for some of these bottom RBC ones. I don't know what's going on there. But at the top, you've got Red Brick, who's been at a number of different Battlesnake events, and they're always well represented. Roof, who I know the developer at Roof who's been working on it, and he's been putting a lot of time and effort into that snake lately. Schneider Electric is in third. I don't know much about them. If Noah or Aurora, do either of you know anything about that snake? Let's see what it says.
No, I actually don't. I know that. So they sort of jumped on board pretty quickly, and I think it's 2 to 3 people who are working on it and getting it going.
Awesome. Yeah, and it says corporation headquartered in France, and I know they have a Victoria office, so I imagine that's probably how they got involved. So it's super interesting to see how that plays out. And then Link to Feed is a new team, I believe. Checkfront, and then the first there's a couple AWS teams in here. If you look, there's one in 6th, there's one in 10th, and there's one in 12th. These are different teams within AWS, recognizing that some of these companies are larger organizations and they have different engineering teams and different people that want to get involved. So these represent different teams within AWS. You can see the first one, the top one, is a SageMaker snake that came in 6th, and then you've got an RL tuned snake again with SageMaker in 10th, and another SageMaker snake in 12th. So AWS is coming out hard with the reinforcement learning strategies, which is interesting. We'll see how that plays out. And
their profile has a link to their GitHub repo as well. So I assume that means you can see their code. You can see what's going on there.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'm not going to pull it up on screen here, but if you go to their AWS link, you can find this. Here's the team that's built it, which is great. We know Xavier actually ran a workshop on SageMaker earlier this week. Their snake is called Medasa. I get what they're doing. I just know I don't know that they did it.
Didn't quite get there.
Yeah, I mean, you may be the top ranked AWS one, but your pun game isn't quite strong enough to give you the kind of energy you need for this competition.
For some machine learning at that one first. Awesome. So AWS is super well represented, which we're really excited about. And then the other one we should call it is RBC, also a big supporter of this event. They've got a couple teams in here, and we know that they've been working on these snakes pretty hard, or pretty well, or a lot, trying to make them competitive. And so I expect all the RBC snakes to actually get more competitive over the next 12 hours or so as we get closer to the tournament. I know those teams are continuing to work on them. Mm-hmm. Let's dive into the brackets and take a look at how tomorrow's going to go for the sponsor division. So same deal as the veteran. We were able to get everyone into the tournament, which is awesome. That's the goal. The goal is to get everyone into the tournament. So we've got 2 groups of, it looks like it's 8 and also 8, so 2 full groups. In Group A, we've got 2 AWS teams. We've got the Battlesnake official team, which is going to win, and then Benevity, Giftbit, Link to Feed, RBC, and Red Brick. In Group B, we've got the 3rd AWS, Certain, Checkfront, RBC Borealis, Roof, Schneider Electric, Team DX, and then RBC or Team RBX Python. So AWS is a little bit more represented in Group A. RBC is a little bit more represented in Group B. We'll see who moves on. Same format. We're going to run each group twice. The winner from each game is going to move on to the quarterfinals, and then 3 games for the semifinals, 2 games for the finals, and then best of 5 for the final head-to-head. What are we thinking? What are our top 3 picks here? We'll start with Aurora.
Well, I mean, my first thought is my bottom, really, which is perhaps a pessimistic approach. But poor Certain, like Certain has a quadruple version of the Curtis curse because he's been working on this snake. So, like, I'm sorry, Certain, like, you know, it's not an advantage, possibly a detriment. So,
like, did they really even have a chance?
Yeah. No, you know, it's been playing. It's been coming to play. But it's such a tough call here. I don't know. I definitely have friends at Check Front, so I think I'm gonna put my heart there. And Ruth has always been so put together at Battlesnake tournaments, whether it's for their bounty snakes or whether it's like for the competition. So I want to see what Ruth brings.
Noah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to. I mean, I see that RBC Borealis is kind of in the lower stream of things, but these are a bunch of AI researchers, and I think they might do something interesting, and maybe there'll be a little bit of an upset there, and so I'm gonna choose them as one of mine. So the RBC Boa Realis team. So their pun game is also a little bit better.
Yeah, I give that
gives
one
you a little more.
That's an A+.
Yeah.
That's no Madassa. Just saying, AWS.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I like Aurora. Roof always knows how to throw down at a Battlesnake tournament, and so I think they'll probably come in. I also like that they're using Rust. Very different. Not many people are building Battlesnakes in Rust. So we'll see what that does and if it pays off.
Great. Okay. For my top 3, I think probably just Battlesnake Official. And then my second choice would be Battlesnake Official, and my third choice would be probably just this third one here in Group A.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Like it's probably just the winner. Honestly, though, I would love to see some of the AWS SageMaker snakes really take off. I think they've been working on them really hard over the last year or so. I know the team there has been putting a ton of effort into that. And they haven't quite gotten it to a level where it's hyper competitive against some of the more deterministic non-ML snakes. And so I love to see them move up and actually take a finals or at least reach a semifinals. Mm-hmm. And then, I'll vote for Certain, obviously, because Curtis needs some help.
Delighted to see tomorrow. Delighted to see the snakes. I'm going to be throwing it up on the projector in my living room and playing all day. So, come on, my picks. Do it. Come out there for me.
Let's go Team Aurora.
Yeah. Every snake I mentioned.
They're going to be
winners. Winners across the board. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, someone's written this down, is going to call us out on this later.
Top picks by Aurora.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. This has been really fun. We're going to replay this show in a couple hours. So it'll be again on Twitch for people on the West Coast, so they can watch it as well. And then we'll be live again tomorrow, 10:30 Pacific, math, 1:30 Eastern. We'll see you all then.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.